Hello and welcome to our VectorVest strategy presentation titled Delta Delta Delta, It Can Help You Help You Help You. My name is Brian D'Amico, Manager of Educational Services here at VectorVest, and it's my pleasure to present the strategy to you. Today's strategy is all about putting the probability of success on your side. How do we do that? Well, when we buy a stock, we want the price to go up, right? And when do most stock prices rise? Well, they rise when the stock market is rising. Knowing when the stock market is rising alone will put the odds of success in your favor. How can we stack the deck in our favor even more? Well, we would do that by selecting not only great stocks, but selecting them from the industries that are rising. And one of the great things about VectorVest is we make it very simple for you to know when the stock market is rising, which industries are the hottest, and which are the best stocks in those industries. Tonight, you're going to learn about one of my favorite features in the VectorVest Unisearch tool, and that's called Delta. If you think hard back to when you were in high school, Delta referred to percentage change. In order to calculate a percentage change, all you need is 2 points. You need a starting point, let's call that A. Then you need an ending point, let's call that B. Then you just figure out how much the value changed from A to B. And as you know, VectorVest will do all the work for you. So tonight, we're going to look at how we can use Delta to do 3 things. We're going to look for changes in price, we're going to look for changes in earnings, and we're going to look for changes in the industry's relative timing. So let's get right into VectorVest and take a look at how to do it. Here we are in the VectorVest Unisearch tool. And if we look over on the left-hand side, you can see all the search folders. I'm going to open up this one here called Searches Prudent. And I'm going to scroll down, and we've got a search in here called Top VST Vector Stocks. This search right here, when you run it, will virtually return the same stocks that are in the stock viewer. And the stock viewer is a great place to go to find stocks to buy, because the stock viewer lists all of the stocks that we track sorted by our master indicator VST, which is a combination of value, safety, and timing. Let me show you how you can use the Delta feature in the Unisearch to get even more information about these stocks. So let me do this. Let me just shrink this left-hand side, and let's start off by getting some more information about the price. Alright, so I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to change this, and I'm going to add price. I'm going to do split adjusted, and you'll notice there's a choice in here for Delta. So I'm going to select that, and I'm just going to use the default settings here just for now. We're going to look over 10 days. So if you think back to the slide where we were looking at point A to point B, 10 days is that time period. So we're going to look at 10 days ago compared to now. And this choice here, display only. So we're only going to display the Delta, and you're going to see that in just a minute. So I'm going to hit OK, and let's run this again. You're going to see a new column that gets added right here called the 10-day price delta. So here we can see that TVE over the past 10 days has risen 1.68%. BAD actually is not bad at all. It's up over 13% over the past 10 days. And remember, all this is doing is it's taking the price from 10 days ago and comparing it to the price now and calculating a percentage change for us. So we've now got a little bit of extra information about these top VST stocks. We can see that a couple of them are losing some steam right now. We can see GS, IFP, and MX. They're slowing down. They're pulling back right now. So maybe right now might not be the best time for those. Whereas we could see a couple others like BAD, RE, ATD. They're still cooking right now. They're still moving up nicely. So with that one piece of Delta in this search, we now get more information about these top stocks. Let's get some more information using the Delta. We've preached many times that you want to look for stocks of companies that are making money, because earnings is what drives stock prices higher. It's the engine, so to speak. So let's do this. Let's come in here. I'm going to go to Stocks, Capital Appreciation, and go to Earnings Per Share. And once again, I'll choose Delta. If I come over here, the most common time frame to use is 1 quarter. So I'm going to do 13 weeks. And once again, I'm just going to choose display only for now, and I'll show you how to change that in just a minute. So I'll click on OK. So let's see what the earnings has done over the past quarter of these top VST stocks. So let's come down here and take a look. Now remember, this is VectorVest's forecasted earnings per share. It's a proprietary formula for this earnings per share, and we feel it's much better than just looking at the reported earnings. All right, so let's take a look. We got TVE has grown the earnings per share by 15% over the past quarter. BAD, not so hot. It's at just over 4%. We've got some great values here, but as I scroll down, you can see we have a couple, CNQ and DEE, have actually had earnings decreases over the past quarter. So even though they're in the top VST, we can see we get some more information here. The earnings is actually dropping. Well, let's look at a couple more things. Let's add earnings and let's see how it has changed over the past year. So let's once again add another delta, and this one will be 52 weeks. And I'll once again leave it as display only. I'm going to pull that down just a little bit. Alright, so here, wow, look at this. We've got RE. Not only is it up almost 8% over the past 10 days, it's grown its earnings per share over 78% over the past quarter, and the earnings has risen over 350% over the past year. So some great information about these top stocks. Now you can also use this delta to start to filter out some of the stocks that you don't want. Let's say you don't want to look at stocks that have a negative earnings delta. It's as simple as coming in here and changing this, instead of display only, make it greater than either 0, that'll make sure that it's positive, or let's say you want to come in here and just make it 20%. I'll just click on OK, and now when I run it, I'm getting the top ranked VST stocks in the database, but now they have to have had an earnings per share increase over the past quarter over 20%. So with a couple of pieces of information here in this one search, you're getting a lot of great information about these top stocks. Alright, well let's switch gears just a little bit, because you can also use a delta to find not only hot stocks, but you can make sure that those stocks are in hot industries, because sometimes you might buy a top stock. It might even be in the top of the stock viewer, but if that top stock is in an industry that is out of favor, that bad industry is just going to pull down that stock. So let's put the odds of success in our favor. Let's look for not only top stocks, but make sure they're in industries that are rising right now. So let's do this. Let's come up here, let's start fresh. Let's do a new search here. So I'll hit no. And once again, I'm just going to start with our top VST vector stock search. And watch what you could do with just one line. With one line, we're going to make sure that the stocks that get returned are in hot industries. All you have to do is come in here and go to stocks, filter by industry group. Alright, stocks. Then come over to filter by industry group, choose equal to, and then when you come over here, notice there's a choice, top delta industries. So we're going to look for a percentage change of one of the values of this industry. And one of the best things to use would be its relative timing, because that's looking at the price change, the price momentum. So if I come over here, let's use this one right here, the highest 10 by the 5-day RT delta. Alright, so what does that mean? What exactly does this mean, highest 10 by 5-day RT delta? So let's break it down. Highest 10 means we're only going to be looking at the top 10 industries. Alright, so only 10 industries. That's what we're looking at, just 10 industries. So which 10 are we looking at? So we're only going to be looking at the 10 that have increased their relative timing the most over the past 5 days. Alright, so what it's doing is it's looking at all the industries and saying, alright, out of all the industries that VectorVest tracks, which 10 of those industries has gone up the most in relative timing over the past 5 days? Alright, and then once it knows those 10 industries, it's only going to pull stocks from those. So if I run this search, these stocks that get returned are in those 10 industries. And take a look at this. We still have BAD. I mean, that's right there up at the top again. All right, so if I scroll over just a little bit, you can see the industries that they're in. So we've got petroleum, field services, bank, domestic. So we got a good variety here. You can see petroleum shows up a few times. So let's see how this performs over time. All right, so let's do this. Let's take this search, and I'm going to save this search. So I'll just hit save and do a save as, and I'm just going to call it top VST vector stocks. I'm just going to call it industry 5-day RT delta. All right, I'm just going to hit OK. All right, and once I do that, let's just go right up to the backtester, and let's see how it performed. So I'm going to click on backtest an idea, and I'm going to use the default account settings. I'm going to come down to this next tab, which says market timing. Now, in order to use market timing in a backtest, you do need a plugin module called the auto timer. Now, if you don't have the auto timer, give us a call. We'll set you up with a free 2-week trial to the auto timer. All right, so I'm going to use this auto timer because one of the great things about VectorVest is we're very good at identifying the market's trend. And we've got several market timing signals ranging from conservative to aggressive and somewhere in the middle. I'm going to use this one here called green light buyer. With the green light buyer, I like those green lights. They give plenty of times to identify when to get into the market, and it'll let you know when it's a good time to be buying. So I'm going to use green light buyer. So I'm going to come over here to automation rules up. We're going to buy along anytime we get a green light. I'm going to scroll down to searches prudent, and let's go and select that search that we just built. There it is with the super long name. And how about our stop criteria? Let's be fairly conservative here. We'll use a 10% stop, and let's say if we gain 20%, that way we have a 2-to-1 win to loss ratio. So even if we get 50% winners, where we win half the time and lose half the time, we're still going to come out ahead of the game. All right, so 20% gain, 10% loss. I'm going to come over to more settings, and let's change a few things here. We will manage a 10 stock portfolio. We will automatically replace closed positions, but it's going to be smart enough since we have the auto timer to only replace when there's a green light. Now, a lot of people don't like to buy 10 stocks all at once, and that's okay. If you don't mind doing that, you can do that. But in this test, let's lower this down, and let's just say we're going to get 2 stocks per day. So 2 stocks on the first green light, then 2 more, and 2 more, and so on each green light. I'm going to not close any position when we get a green light. And I'm going to scroll down, and one of the things that some people would say is, I want to make sure that I'm not buying all the same stocks from the same industry, especially since we're only looking at 10 industries. So let's just make it so that we're only going to buy 2 stocks at most from any one industry, because we want to make sure we're diversified. All right, so I'm going to come over to automation rules down, and I'm just going to take no action, which means we're going to leave existing positions open until the stop criteria is met. We're just not going to open any new positions when we get a down signal. All right, so we'll go to our test period, and let's go back. So here we are in March 2013. Let's go back until we see a red light. All right, so there is a confirmed down call, and let's just start this test on the first green that occurred after that. So let's say you got a confirmed down call. So you wait a few days, and then boom, you see the first green light appeared on the 23rd of November. So then you could say, all right, I'm going to start doing this technique. So I'll start on the 23rd, and let's just give it a name. How about we just call it top industries. And let's just run this. And how about I just pull this up so we can see it a little bit clearer. All right, there we go. We can see that the test is complete. So here we're up over 33% annualized. Incredibly low drawdown of only 5%. Beautiful equity curve. Now, is this trading plan that I just created the best of the best trading plans? No. I mean, are there things that probably could outperform this? Maybe with a trailing stop, or maybe getting all 10 stocks at once? It's possible. what I recommend you do is get out there and try it. What this shows you is that if you combine all things in your favor, you're just putting the probability of success on your side. So you can see down here you got green lights telling you that it's okay to buy because the market's in an uptrend. Green lights, green lights. We're looking at top VST stocks in top industries. So 3 things all in our favor: top stocks, top industries, and a rising market. So let's recap what we looked at today. Tonight, I hope you learned how you could use the Delta feature in VectorVest to get a lot of great information. You can add it to a search like top VST stocks to find rising stocks with rising earnings. You can use it to only look for stocks that are in the hottest industry groups. Then you can combine that information with our market timing signals, and within seconds, you have just put the probability of success on your side. I'd like to thank you all for watching, and we look forward to working with you in the future. Have a great night, everyone.